Welcome back. As the nation awaits the inauguration of the 9th National Assembly, various groups have continued to speak on the kind of leadership expected in that assembly. While some lawmakers have expressed their desire to vie for certain offices, some others have remained in the realm of speculation. The Urhobo ethnic nationality in Delta State, they've however thrown their weight behind the candidacy of Senator Omo-Agege as the Deputy Senate President for the 9th National Assembly. The group presented its position at the end of its meeting in Urhobo, Delta State. They believe that since the All Progressives Congress has zoned the Deputy Senate President slot to the South-South geopolitical zone, Senator Omo-Agege is the most qualified and should be given the opportunity to hold the office.
Defending Mr. President, he has been defending the policy of the party, the Urhobo nation. After considering the sterling quality of this our dear son, we move, as a move, that the National Assembly and indeed the national leadership of our party and indeed Mr. President should wholeheartedly adopt our son as the next Deputy Senate President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
As we must emphasize that when Urhobo nation voted overwhelmingly for Senator Omo-Agege on February 23, 2019, they demonstrated their satisfaction for his first tenure and also have in view that for the first time, the Urhobo people will have the rare opportunity to present a very vibrant ranking senator for a converted leadership position in the Senate.
Let's go over to Cross River State, where the governor, Professor Ben Ayade, has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the water supply, sanitation and hygiene WASH program. Cross River is set to be leading in Nigeria in the elimination of open defecation, with 5 of its local government areas declared open defecation free by the United Nations. At an event in Berlin, Germany, the state government pledged $10 million over the next 5 years towards ensuring clean water supply and ending open defecation. Our correspondent Imani Ode has the details in our community report tonight.
Poor sanitation and lack of access to potable water are some of the challenges common in many African countries, including Nigeria. That's the case in some rural parts of Cross River State, South Nigeria, where people have to walk long distances in search of clean water for drinking and for other domestic uses.
You're not fresh again.
It was during the dry seasons. Quite often, both animals and humans have to share the same water source, according to residents.
Majorly, our source of water is from the stream. And some of the streams are stagnant pits. Sometimes we share with the animals.
In some communities, streams are the only source of water. A makeshift construction made of bamboo sticks and leaves serves as a shield to stop particles from getting into their only source of drinking water. But that's no solution to safeguarding the water from contamination, mostly from open defecation, which remains a common practice in such rural settings.
We bath here, we fish here and drink. We wash our clothes here. There's no other water that we have except this one.
State authorities are not unaware of the risk that this unhygienic practice poses to populations, as the state governor, Professor Ben Ayade, reiterates a firm resolve to ensure sanitation in the state.
The African situation is so bad that at the headstream is a source of defecation and at the downstream is a source of drinking water. This is the characteristic story of most of the African villages settlements. And so in order to ensure that the communities and local governments that are already ODF free are sustained, it means that government must support them with an aggressive water supply program.
The state government in Berlin, Germany, announced the state's financial commitments in this regard. with support of donors and agencies in the mission for a water and sanitation secure Cross River State.
I committed on behalf of the government and the governor of Cross River State, Senator Professor Ben Ayade, $15 million over the next 5 years for clean water and ending open defecation in our state.
The Cross River State government, through one of its agencies, has begun drilling boreholes across the state. The target is to provide safe water and sanitation systems in every community that lacks them, in order to end the status of an open defecation-free state in the shortest possible time. Imani Ode, Channels Television News.
Integrity and dedication to duty are qualities that have distinguished people in various areas of public service through the years. One of them is 87-year-old Pa Olajide Olabode, who was a one-time chauffeur to the first Premier of Western Nigeria, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and his successor, Chief Ladoke Akintola, as well as some visiting heads of state. Pa Olabode called for a return to such noble values in public service when the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, visited him at his home in Ekiti State. Our correspondent, Babajide Agbeyo, reports.
87-year-old Pa Olajide Olabode was a one-time chauffeur to the Premier of Western Nigeria, the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, his successor, Ladoke Akintola, and sole administrator of Western Nigeria, Moses Majekodunmi. He was also the official chauffeur to visiting heads of state like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Sylvanus Olympio of Togo, among others.
You are welcome.
To him, only trust and diligence could have bestowed such responsibilities on him, and he is proud to be moderately educated but perfectly dedicated. He was recently spotlighted again when the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, visited him while in Ekiti State to launch the federal government school feeding program on May the 7th. Born in Ado Ekiti, he only managed to acquire primary education as he could not go further due to financial constraints. His analogy of leadership then and now reveals a gap in terms of passion, action and commitment, as he also decries destructive type of opposition politics in Nigeria.
We cannot compare the leaders of those days with the present ones. Few of them are very good. We still have good leaders, but the followers are not as, we don't have good followers. Especially this opposition, political oppositions against them. It was not like that. If you want to criticize the government, you criticize the government constructively, not destructively.
He wants the present crop of leaders to square up and deviate from the monster called corruption.
There was no stealing like this. There are some people who had anti-corruption officer then, but not as much as this. Nobody was stealing like this.
For this octogenarian, no regret of not being highly educated or wealthy, but that the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, would now remember him in his low estate is a memory that will endure forever as his happiest day.
It is not the money that matters. Look at the grace God has given through the governor, through everybody who knew me, that I did very well. How you look at when the Vice President came to Ado Ekiti, he didn't go to the house of my colleagues who are professors. He came to my house. You see, this is great. I am great. I thank God.
The Ekiti State Governor, Dr. Kaude Fayemi, sees Olabode as exemplary as he underlines the dignity of labor.
The dignity of labor and the importance of a job is not when you are governor and all those superficial honorifics that accompany such positions. Whatever you do, do it well. I think that is really the lesson of Paul Alabode's life and times.
Paul Alabode's story resonates with dignity, contentment, and integrity. He hopes to see an evolved and better placed Nigeria in the Committee of Nations as the country looks forward to another 4-year term of newly elected politicians at the federal and state levels. Babajide Agbeyo, Channels Television News.
87 and still articulate. Let's go over to education, where impersonation and other forms of examination malpractice are being tackled by the National Examination Council with the acquisition of biometric devices and 20 units of sports utility vehicles. The acting registrar, Dr. Abubakar Gana, expressed concern about the negative impact of the menace on the integrity of the exams conducted by the examination body. Our correspondent, Emperor Simon, has more.
Issues of impersonation and other forms of examination malpractice are being tackled by the National Examination Council with the acquisition of biometric devices and 20 units of sport utility vehicles to check the menace. The acting registrar, Dr. Abubakar Gana, expresses concerns about the negative impact of impersonation and other forms of examination malpractice on the integrity of the exams conducted by the examination body.
Before the exams, we will take biometrics. Those who have come to impersonate, their picture will not emerge. The machine will reject them. You saw it. Students who registered their picture immediately came out, appeared on the screen. And those who did not register, will say, not found. And so nobody who has not registered can take our own examination.
On his part, the chairman of the NECO board, Professor Abubakar Sadiq, says the biometric devices and vehicles will boost the confidence of Nigerians in the examination conducted by the organization. He calls for the autonomy of NECO, saying it will take away unnecessary bottlenecks and make it more efficient.
For us to be able to give a very, very satisfactory certification, we should be able to allow people to sit for the exam they register, thus giving a level playing ground. By the end of the whole exercise, you will give a very positive description of any candidate who earned his result.
The Federal Ministry of Education, on its part, vows to deal with staff of any examination body in the country found guilty of aiding or abetting examination malpractice.
What we are doing now is to make sure we prevent the committal of the offense itself. The moment you prevent the committal of the offense, then you are sure that your staff will not be involved in anything shady. And what the ministry is doing is to ensure that staff are trained and retrained with a view to ensuring that the right thing is always done.
With the planned use of the newly acquired biometric devices, issues of impersonation and other forms of examination malpractice may soon be a thing of the past. Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.